Hello learners, welcome to NMS Studio. I am Parthosarathi Godai, your academic officer from NIOS. Today we are going to discuss about on the topic of vermicomposting. It is the one of your pre-vocational subject in level C from our open basic education. So what are the objective of today's class? So today actually we are going to learn about what is the vermicompost, its important, how this is different from a conventional or traditional compost. Then we will learn about what are the types of composting. Then also we will learn about what are the types of earthworm that are used in vermicomposting, their life cycle, their body structure, as well as what are the product that we can get from our vermicomposting unit. So let's start with today's class. So you may have heard about the compost. Actually that is a black color, black brownish type material, or we can say it is a one type of organic fertilizer. Here in this picture you can see the image of one vermicompost. And the main difference between a conventional compost or a vermicompost is the vermicompost contains some amount of few or large number of earthworm that you can see in the picture. Actually this vermicompost is actually made with the help of these earthworm, which actually transform our organic waste into this vermicompost or organic biofertilizer. So next comes the why should we learn or why should we go for practicing about vermicompost. Actually vermicompost has a huge number of benefit for our food, for our health, for our ecosystem, or for our surrounding environment. First let's start about why in the present condition the vermicompost has gained so much popularity. Actually we have known that during the 60s or 70s time there was a green revolution in India, and that time due to the use of high yielding variety as well as the various type of the agricultural chemicals like fertilizer as well as pesticide, the crop yield has gone up. But unfortunately these chemical fertilizer actually they actually harm the surrounding environment. As a result our soil, our water gets polluted, as well as it has entered into our food chain or food system also, and ultimately it affects our human health. So next in this context, then why vermicomposting has become popular? Because it is one of the eco-friendly source of nutrient for plant. That means these vermicompost are made naturally with the help of earthworm, and as a result these eco-friendly source, they cannot pollute our environment as well as our health. Next comes the improvement of soil health and soil fertility. Actually this soil health, actually it is denoted a number of factors. There are physical properties, chemical properties, as well as biological properties. And in the vermicompost, as there is the earthworm, and also this vermicompost actually comes out through the gut of a earthworm. As a result, it contains the various amount of enzyme, hormone, as well as other beneficial nutrient as well as enzyme. And this vermicompost actually helps to promote the growth of other microbes present in the soil. That's why it improves the soil health, and also soil fertility improved because the vermicompost contains the nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and other various cationic as well as anionic nutrient, and they actually help to grow a plant successfully. As a result, we can harvest the sufficient amount of yield from the soil, and that's why it is called the soil fertility has been increased. Third, they provide actually the nutrient enriched superior food. Actually what happened when we use the chemical fertilizer continuously for our food, let's say it may be rice, it may be wheat, and as a result the scientists have found that the critical nutrient which is actually present in food, their content gets deteriorated over the time. But while when we apply the vermicompost, actually the food is able to retain their nutrient in higher amount, and as a result we can say one type of their nutrient content within this rice and wheat has been enriched. That's why they are called the superior food when let's say when we can say that the vermicompost has been used to produce that food. And we can also produce the various type of organic food also with the help of vermicompost. They are also a healthy option for us. Fourth is the pest control. Vermicompost actually also can suppress the plant diseases as well as insect pest. Here actually the vermicompost is actually contain very high amount of calcium in it, and as the calcium within the plant body acts as the deterrent for plant diseases as well as insect pest. That's why a fungi or we can say a bacteria or any other insect cannot easily attack the plant where the vermicompost is given. Next comes what is vermicomposting. Actually vermicomposting is the process through which the vermicompost is prepared from agricultural waste, and it is done through the help of the earthworm. That's why the earthworm is called the friends of farmer. Long back the Greek philosopher and scientist, the famous Greek philosopher Aristotle said that the earthworm is the intestine of the earth. Actually because this is because the soil which is present on the earth, actually many times they pass through the gut of a earthworm, and as a result they are enhanced in various type of hormone, enzyme, as well as various type of our essential nutrient. That's why he rightly said actually the earthworm as the intestine of earth. Next comes about what are the difference between composting and vermicomposting. Actually in most of the cases you may have seen the compost which may be used in your garden or in your agriculture field. Actually compost is basically organic matter that has been decomposed and recycled naturally through the process of decomposition of organic material, and as a result the available nutrient source in that compost has been increased. And here actually particularly the decomposition happens with the help of other type of various microorganisms like bacteria, fungi and protozoa. Compost is also a good source of organic manure in the soil, but compared to compost, the vermicompost contain the higher amount of various type of nutrient like NPK. That's why if you apply the similar amount of compost and vermicompost in the soil, vermicompost will add higher amount of beneficial nutrient within the soil. So next comes what are the type of composting. Actually the conventional composting is divided into two group of method. One is aerobic composting, another one is anaerobic composting. Aerobic composting actually done with the help of is done where the oxygen is present in its surrounding environment, while in case of anaerobic composting the oxygen is absent. Here actually in this natural process of composting, the composting takes higher amount of time to convert the organic waste into the our desired compost amount. Here also the aerobic composting takes less time compared to anaerobic composting. So next comes the vermicompost. So how this vermicompost actually different from compost? First is it is enriched compost, because this type of compost contains higher amount of nutrient like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium as well as calcium compared to our conventional and the traditional compost. Next, when we go for composting in the natural way, there is the generation of huge amount of heat in the chamber, but in case of vermicompost they are non-thermophilic. That means there is not much generation of the heat, and also vermicompost is a aerobic process, while the conventional composting may be aerobic as well as anaerobic process. Then there is a another term, it is called Vermin reactor. What is this? This is actually the reactor or the container or the place where we perform the vermicomposting process to convert the wastes. So next comes about what are the type of earthworm used in vermicompost. Generally there are several amount of, or there are many kinds of earthworm available in our earth, but all types of earthworms are not suitable for vermicomposting. Particularly the three species of vermicompost are particularly popular with respect to the preparation of vermicompost. First one is Eisenia foetida, second is Eudrilus eugeni, and third one is Perionyx excavatus. You can find their images on the right hand side of this slide. Here the top one is the Eisenia foetida and the bottom one is the Eudrilus eugeni. Actually, particularly among these, the Eisenia foetida is most popular, and they are mostly used in India for vermicompost preparation. Here is also another term is there. What is vermin cast? Vermin cast actually the excreta of earthworm that earthworm releases when they ingest some amount of soil or organic waste in their body, and as a result they pass through the gut of a earthworm. These vermin casts are enriched with hormone, various types of enzyme as well as the various type of essential nutrients. Next comes what are the role of earthworm in the crop production. Actually, earthworm are called farmer's friend, and as a result the earthworm has the numerous type of beneficial effect on crop production. Here we have the enlisted few of them. You can also find and search the other beneficial effect of earthworm. So our first role is the recycling of agro waste. As we have already discussed till now, the agro wastes are particularly ingested by earthworm, and they are released as a vermin cast in the soil. As a result, the earthworm helps to recycle the agro waste, and particularly in the present condition, the generation of huge amount of agro waste is a problem of agriculture. So in this respect, the vermicompost is a very good option for the recycling of our agro waste. Second comes the enhancement of the physical, chemical as well as biological properties of soil. Among the physical properties, there is the soil structure, there is soil porosity, soil water content. Among the chemical properties, there is soil pH, and also there is the colloidal properties, organic matter content. And among the biological properties, there is the diversity of the various type of animal and plant present in the soil. All these properties of soil actually gets enhanced when we apply the vermicompost in the soil. Particularly with respect to pH, the vermicompost helps to maintain the optimum pH in the soil. They actually increases the organic matter content of the soil. They also increases the water holding capacity as well as soil porosity, because as a result the soil porosity has been increased due to application of organic matter. The water holding capacity of the soil also increases. As a result, the plant growth can be achieved successfully. And the fourth role is they actually accelerate the nutrient cycling. Actually, when we generate the various type of agro wastage from from agriculture or horticulture practices, these agro wastes contain the various type of nutrients within it, and in the natural process they gets the more amount of time to decompose, and it takes lot more time to further their conversion into available nutrient, and as a result the plant cannot get easily this nutrient present in this agro waste. While we apply the vermicompost, they actually fasten this process of nutrient cycling. As a result, within the short span of time, the nutrient present in the agro wastage actually converted into fertilizer or the available manure, and that a plant can actually take up from the soil. So for this helpful region, this earthworm is called farmer's friend, or they are called the nature's plowman. They are called nature's plowman because the earthworm move the soil within the vertically as well as horizontally, and during this movement they actually bring the the soil of lower horizon into upper horizon and upper horizon into the lower horizon. Actually, this is actually happened when we mechanically perform the plowing process. But while a soil contains a good amount of earthworm, the plowing process they do naturally. That's why they are called the nature's plowmen. Next comes what are the role of earthworm in our environment. In particularly with respect to our healthy environment, the earthworm actually able to remove the heavy metal from our soil. Actually, when the earthworm ingests any organic waste that contains the heavy metal, they actually absorb heavy metal from that waste in their gut, and they keep that in their body, and they release the heavy metal free excreta within the soil. As a result, the soil becomes free from heavy metal. And second, they also protects the plant from the pest invasion, because they provides a good amount of calcium. This calcium actually strengthens the plant cell wall. As a result, no pest and diseases actually cannot invade the plant cell easily, and for this reason these earthworms is called the bioindicator of soil health and soil fertility. And from this statement we can say that if a soil contains a good amount of earthworm, that means a soil is healthy and soil has a good amount of fertility, and the soil is able to produce successfully any plant for harvest. So students, let's take a break. After the break we will discuss about what are the body structure of earthworm and also what are their life cycle.
प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने।
सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो,
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े, वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात।
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने। स्वयं बने, हम
Welcome back, students. So we were discussing about the what is vermicompost and their types, as well as how they are actually different from the traditional compost. We have also discussed about the role of earthworm. Actually they play in the preparation of vermicompost and in general in soil. So now it is important to know about the body structure of earthworm, because they are the principal agent through which the vermicompost is made. So actually the earthworm body actually divided into various segments, and from the anterior to posterior part there is the prostomium, peristomium, genital tumescens. After that there is clitellum, and in between the genital tumescens and clitellum there is male pore, and after that the tubercula pubertatis, and after that there are the various type of segment, and at the anterior part there is the periproct. And particularly this clitellum is particularly important because because it is the place where the earthworm stores their egg. Actually this clitellum is basically a ring shaped structure. It is present on the skin of the worm and in which the eggs are stored. Second is cocoon. Actually, the earthworm secretes the thick mucus to form a cocoon. Their cocoon are generally seed shaped, and it is actually acts as a covering to enclose their eggs as well as sperms. A earthworm produces the cocoon at the age of 6 weeks to the end of 6 months. Particularly, the cocoon producing ability of earthworm is helpful for vermicomposting. So next, based on the various feeding habit and based on their place of occurrence, we can divide or classify the earthworm. And so based on the feeding habit, we can divide it into two groups. One is phytophagous group, another one is geophagous group. This phytophagous, that phyto actually the meaning of this term is plant. When the earthworm feed on the plant based semi decomposed organic matter, they are called phytophagous. This type of the phytophagous earthworm particularly very helpful for our vermicomposting process. So therefore their example is obviously the vermicompost, the earthworm that helps to form the vermicompost like Eisenia foetida and the Eudrilus eugeni. And the second group is geophagous. They actually feed on the soil. They present in the deep burrows under the soil. They are particularly not used for vermicomposting, but they actually helpful for the aeration within the soil and the mechanical movement of soil particles. Next comes based on the habitat, we can divide the earthworm into three groups. One is epigeic, another one is epianasic, and another one is the anasic. So the first group comes is epigeic. Epigeic, that means the upon the earth, and they are actually the surface dweller. They actually present on the surface litter, and they are actually particularly the efficient eater, and they actually helps to convert generally the various type of surface leaf litter as well as the various type of other organic waste to convert them into vermicompost, and that's why they are very much good for vermicomposting. And in this group there is come the Eisenia foetida, Eisenia andrei, and there is called Dendrodilus rubidas. Second group is anasic group, and here the anasic means the out of the earth. They actually deep burrowing worm. They are present in the deeper layer of the soil, and they have very poor temperature tolerance. So as they have poor temperature tolerance, they cannot thrive on the surface because there is the variation of temperature during the day as well as night, as the day has a very high temperature while night has a very low temperature. So that's why they are considered as a moderately helpful for the decomposition of organic waste. So they are not much preferred for the vermicomposting. Their example is Lumbricus terrestris and the Lampito morrissey. So our third group is that is endozoic group. They are called the endozoic means a Greek word within the earth. They actually present in the below the soil surface, and they particularly important for soil mixing and the aeration process. Their example particularly is Amynthus species. So we have understand that the earthworm, those which are present on the surface and those which are the efficient in eating the organic waste, they are particularly preferred for vermicomposting process. So the next comes we will discuss about what are the life cycle of a earthworm. So here we are going to discuss about life cycle of Eisenia foetida, which is popularly known as a red wriggler, red worm or tiger worm. It is perhaps one of the most widely used earthworm for vermicomposting. The mature individual of this group attain the body weight up to 1500 gram, and on an average each mature worm produces one cocoon every third day, and as a result, on hatching from cocoon, 1 to 3 individuals emerge within 23 days. So in this image you can see the life cycle of a Eisenia foetida, and for a successful completion of life cycle, the Eisenia foetida earthworm requires the temperature around 25 degrees centigrade and the moisture content within the soil the 75%. So here from it is the 23 days required for the incubation period between the cocoon for maturation and the hatchling. After that, the hatchling within the 40 to 60 days, there is the development of clitelium, and after that there is the mating, and further the process has been repeated. So let's understand what are the characteristics of an ideal earthworm for successful vermicomposting. So first characteristic should be they should have the high rate of feed consumption. As a result, they can digest or the more organic waste, and also they can able to feed or they can able to pass through the higher amount of waste through their gut, and as a result the preparation rate of vermicompost will be high. Second, they must have the higher cocoon production ability, and third, they will have a higher adaptability to the environment, because during the generation of vermicomposting process there may be some changes in environmental condition, like the changes in the water content, changes in temperature. If a earthworm cannot survive within this changing environment, so our vermicomposting process will be failed. As a result, a individual who is practicing it may face the loss. So mainly these three characteristics are required during choosing a earthworm species, and there is also a requirement of the preparation of good vermibed also, and it is the vermibed actually they are the layer of a good moist soil in which earthworm is required. If we do not prepare a well vermibed, this earthworm will not survive in this vermibed, and as a result our vermicomposting process will not get even started also. So let's discuss about what are the advantages of vermicomposting, or why should we go for the vermicomposting. First is you can easily prepare or install a vermicompost plant in your backyard or in a small piece of land, and actually this vermicompost unit requires very less investment, and from that you can generate a good amount of your livelihood. So also the vermicomposting is an option of green technology, which is also a eco-friendly, low energy consuming process, and as a result the vermicomposting does not contribute to the global warming or greenhouse gas emission that is actually common for the common in the development of conventional fertilizer like urea and phosphorus. Also this vermicompost generation process is odorless, they cannot create foul smell to their surrounding, and also these units are very easy to manage. And third is compared to traditional composting, it is a comparatively faster process. As a result, within the short span of time you can get a good amount of vermicompost and you can sell them in the market, and you can also earn a good amount of income. Also, as we have discussed, there is very less cost is required in vermicomposting unit, and if it is practiced on a large scale, it has a potential to generate income and the employment opportunities for good amount of people. Also, the vermicomposting is at the current times is considered as one of the emerging technique for waste management, because in the current scenario the waste disposal is the main problem in the urban area. So if you go for adopting the vermicomposting process, you may be rewarded with government incentives or also the good remunerative from your vermicomposting unit. So let's discuss about who can do a vermicomposting. Actually, anyone who is interested in preparation of vermicomposting, they can go for it. Obviously, the farmers will be particularly helpful, will be particularly get benefit from this vermicomposting, because they need to apply the fertilizer in their field. Also, a student can practice vermicomposting from their interest. Also, an unemployed person can go for it, because it may generate the employment and remuneration for him. So let's understand about what are the properties of a good vermicompost. And a good vermicompost should look like a granular peat-like appearance, and it actually improves the physical, chemical and biological parameter of the soil. And a good vermicompost acts as a soil conditioner. That means they modify the condition present in the soil in the favor of plant growth as well as other beneficial microbes. And also it acts as a organic fertilizer. And third one is the vermicompost has good physiochemical characteristics. That means it must have optimum pH, it must have the optimum amount of water, and also optimum amount of the texture or physical characteristics. So next discuss about apart from vermicompost, what we can get from our vermicomposting unit. So one such product is earthworm biomass. Actually, this biomass of earthworm is rich in the protein source, and it is alternately called as a earthworm meal. They are actually particularly used for livestock, and it has the natural detoxicant properties. As we have already discussed that the vermicompost itself has a capability to remove heavy metal from the soil. So similarly, their earthworm biomass has the natural detoxicant properties. This surplus worm can be fed to the poultry and fish as a source of their protein, as the protein requirement needs to be made for the maintenance of the poultry as well as fish farming. Next comes the second product is vermi wash. They are actually the leachate which comes out from a vermicomposting unit or system. They are basically a dark brown color liquid, and it is particularly a liquid fertilizer which is used in many different countries. This liquid fertilizer particularly very enriched with nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, zinc, manganese, cobalt as well as iron. So students, we have learned about the various aspects of vermicomposting today. In the next class we will be learn how to set up a vermicomposting unit, and what are their physical dimensions also, and what are the steps or precaution you need to take during the vermicomposting process. So thank you so much. I hope you have understand today's class. Thank you.